What is going on, everybody? Hope your Saturday is going well. We're here September 16th, Mexican Independence Day. Shout out to all the Mexicans out there celebrating. We got week 2 of CU Sunday. Bo, I don't know why you're laughing. All right.
Expected that.
Of course, got it, though. That's all that matters. You got it, though.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month, not just Mexican month.
Well, we don't even get a whole. We get 2 halves of 2 different months. Like, so our Mexican our Heritage Month, Hispanic Heritage Month starts today and ends October 15th.
That's crazy.
Like everybody else gets a whole month.
We don't even get a whole month in a real.
We gotta share it. We gotta split months. It's wild. Anyways, we're here week 2, CU Sunday. We got a good slate of games. What look like are going to be a good slate of games coming up. Got everybody here with me. My favorite Canadian, my boy Kenneth. Chris LeBron from NYC Deadass B, and my boy Mo rocking the Big Ten champion shirt because he doesn't have anything other than that since 2014.
Rocking that.
And then my guy Aaron with the pride flag the Dallas Cowboys flag in the back.
Okay.
So we're gonna get started here. So if you guys haven't seen yet.
It's crazy.
It's not get 5 minutes in.
So if y'all didn't see already, we released the official Off the Ball Network power rankings. I'm about to put them up on the screen right now. There we go. So with the Chiefs losing, we have the 49ers taking the top spot. Dallas coming in at 2, Eagles at 3, Kansas City at 4, Dolphins 5, Jags at 6, Ravens 7, Lions at 8, Browns at 9, Bills falling all the way to 10 after losing to Zach Wilson and the Jets on Monday Night Football in walk-off fashion. So what these are compiled of all the rankings. We have 6 of us who we get our rankings together and just average out. So this is what it ended up being, the averages of everybody's. But unlike last week, what I do have this time is, let me bring it up. We have our individual rankings, and we're going to show that today. So here they are, 1 through 32. Hopefully you guys can see that. Now, so I have a couple questions on these. Mo, you're first. If we look at your rankings, you have Dolphins sitting at 1.
Yeah,
just because they beat an overrated Chiefs or Chargers team.
Because that offense was explosive. Tua healthy. We know how good that offense could be. He looked like an MVP candidate last year prior to injury. Tyreek Hill he's arguably the best wide receiver in football. You can have that argument between him and Justin Jefferson. I don't care who's 1, who's 2. That's fine. Jalen Waddle didn't even do like the most. I think they're just getting started. Yeah, their defense gave up something, but like, bro, at the end of the day, playing the Chargers, an expected, playoff team, an expected team that could make a run, maybe even go for the AFC West, especially after Kansas City lost to Detroit. They look like they're missing a couple pieces, which they get them back. But I just feel like the Dolphins were the most impressive on the best game on Sunday that we watched anyway. Like, of everybody that I was the most impressed with, I was more impressed with Miami than anybody else. So, yeah, right. I mean, after week 1, that's why I give them the 1 spot.
I'm just the only thing is that defense. The defense did give up a lot of points. And in the NFL and in football in general, yes, if your team is scoring 30, 40 points a game, great. But if you're also giving up 30 points a game, you need your offense to be lights out every single week. And that's my only issue with the Dolphins being at 1. Everything else, Niners at 2, Cowboys 7. I'm surprised you had Cowboys as low as 3. I thought you were going to have them higher, not just because you're a fan, but because that's what a dominant team looked like.
San Francisco looked just as dominant, too, against Pittsburgh, who I valued coming into the season as a borderline. I think they could make the playoff. I thought they could make the playoffs. I'm not going to hedge off of that after 1 week, but I felt like San Francisco winning 37 in dominant fashion against a team that I think is going to make a push for the playoffs was more impressive, even though I think the Giants are going to make a push for the playoffs, but Dallas has been fairly dominant over the Giants in the Dak Prescott era. So it wasn't as impressive as what San Francisco did from all aspects, including offense. They looked a lot better offensively than Dallas did, even though Dallas didn't have to.
All right, Ken, you're next. I want to know why you felt the need, why you woke up Monday morning and chose violence and putting the Commanders at 27.
Well, I mean, I know that I send the rankings to you, so I mostly just wanted to fight on Monday morning. But, I mean, come on. We're not going to act like a super unimpressive win over the Cardinals means that they deserve to be in the top 20. I mean, I'm very low on the Commanders this year. I don't think that Sam Howell's it. I think that defense is fine. Run game's fine. Weapons are fine. But I just think that they're not a great football team. They're not a great coach football team. So I'm going to keep them at 27. Like maybe this week they go in and beat Denver. I'll show them some love if they go in and they start 2-0. But beating the worst team in football that some people think could have 0 wins this year, it's not enough for me to put them higher.
Well, if anybody does not think they're going to get 0 wins, it's my guy Aaron. Aaron, you're the only person that did not have them at 32 this week. Week 1, we all had them at 32. That wasn't even a discussion. You're the only one that had them. You had them as high as 29. I want to get your thought process behind pushing them up 3 spots.
Well, the reason why I had them up is because they kept a close game with the Commanders. And I looked at the Bears. They just looked god-awful. And the Texans, I think it could have been a close game with the Ravens. And the Colts, I think I definitely could have had the Colts higher over than the Cards. I don't know about that. But the other ones, that's my explanation for that, just due to the fact that the Cards had a better game with the lack of the roster they have. So that's why I'm at 29.
I thought that Aaron was just impressed that Josh Dobbs threw for 130 yards, so he deserved to get some love. So
the Bears did look bad. I think we all had them mid-20s last week. Yeah, we all had them at the highest person was Jelani at 21. The rest of us had them closer to 27, closer to 30. So they made a bit of a jump, or they fell because again, you have this much hype going into the season, and you lose to basically he's a first year starting quarterback, and Jordan Love. It's not a good look. So that and Chris, as you guys noticed, Chris's rankings are not there because he fell asleep.
He's a part-timer.
He fell asleep watching some Rucker Park highlights.
I legit fell asleep doing the rankings, and I woke up. I was like, my computer. I was like,
fall asleep doing rankings.
What's funny
Do you have to be like present while you're writing them down, or do you just throw a team name and you're like, I guess they're 27?
I was exhausted from work.
So when we posted them
2 days late.
So when we posted them, they had already been on the network. Everybody had already shared them. And then he sent me the rankings. And because he's the president of the network, I felt I couldn't say anything. I just was like,
no, you can say something. You fell asleep doing the rankings. Say something about it.
Man. Anyways, so Kenneth, we're gonna start with you. I want to get your biggest storylines heading into week 2.
My biggest storyline heading into week 2 is, can some of these teams that were very unimpressive week 1 figure it out? Like the Chiefs weren't impressive. They get Kelsey back. Now they get Jones is back in the lineup as well. We know that Buffalo on Monday night handed the Jets a game. So when we're talking about the AFC playoff picture too, you can't afford to drop those sorts of games. Like Kansas City should have taken care of business. As soon as Rodgers went down, Buffalo should have taken care of business. And losing games like that could really hurt them when it comes to playoff seeding. So they've got chances this week to pick up wins. The Chiefs less so than Buffalo because Buffalo should beat the brakes off the Raiders. But can they get back on track? Because we know that once you fall to 0-2, I'm not worried about them missing the playoffs, but I am worried about them winning the division, potentially getting a home playoff game. That's what I'm worried about. So can those teams that are supposed to take care of business do it in week 2?
Chris.
The Jets, and obviously, no more Aaron Rodgers for the season. Obviously blew out his Achilles. So a team that had high aspirations to, maybe get to the Super Bowl and all that. Now, obviously, that changes now with Zach Wilson now being your starter for presumably, the rest of the season if they don't bring in anybody else. But that's, to me, is the biggest thing. How do they look? How do they rally around Zach? Because we know last year they did not like Zach Wilson, and there were people talking about that he might not even be on the roster, this season. So how do they rally around him? And I know people think that he all he has to do is game manage, but that's just not in his DNA. He's not a game manager. So just it's going to be interesting to see how he looks, especially, going against the Dallas Cowboys. And we saw what they did to the other New York team. So I'm looking forward to see how, because they have they have the team to make a deep playoff run, around Zach, but it all comes down to Zach Wilson. So I'm very intrigued to see how he looks, how the team rally, how the fans rally around him, because they can't stand, the New York Jets fans can't stand Zach Wilson right now. So how they rally around him and all that is going to be interesting to see in the next coming weeks. But yeah, that to me is the biggest thing, because they had a team that could possibly get to the Super Bowl, and now that obviously takes a hit. But we'll see if Zach, finally, figures it out, or they have to figure out their quarterback stuff, if they want to salvage the season. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Aaron, what's your storyline?
So one of my storylines is the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Can he get that turnover proneness down to a minimum? Yeah. And then my next one is the Seattle Seahawks against the Lions, who we looked at as a playoff team, who didn't have the best game against the Rams. They lost to them. They didn't have a Cooper Kupp. Now they're playing against a line that's really hot after losing against the Chiefs. I want to see what the Seahawks look like in week 2.
Mo.
Is this the beginning of the end of the Russell Wilson era in Denver? And I think it could start this Sunday. Like, the potential of the fact if they go down 0-2, lose to the Raiders that they were favorited against. And I know when coaches and stuff evaluate things, they're not thinking about the Vegas odds, right? But like, they know they're the better team. They feel like they know what games they really feel like they should win, and they know what games they feel like should be dogfights. So at the end of the day, the favorited thing is just knowing that Denver was supposed to be better than the Raiders coming in. They dropped that game. If they start 0-2, I mean, Russell Wilson did look good in the first half against the Raiders, so I'm not going to act like they just flat out lost because Russell Wilson just looked absolutely terrible. But, you heard rumblings this week that Sean Payton never even really wanted this job. He wanted to go to the Chargers. They didn't fire their coach. So he's stuck with it. He's stuck in Denver to get a head coaching job and a quarterback that he really doesn't want. You could tell there was some frustration with him being a diva type quarterback and not really fully dialed in on football like he had it with Drew Brees for so many years. If they start 0-2 and their offense looks stale, like, is this a possibility where you start seeing frustration from Sean Payton? And I know it's early. 0-2 doesn't mean anything, but this is already something we saw coming into the season where we think like, hey, if he doesn't figure out if Russell Wilson is his quarterback, could they start moving on? I think if they start 0-2, lose it back-to-back losses to the Raiders and the Commanders, this could start to be like possibly the beginning of the end of Russell Wilson in Denver as far as being the quarterback for Sean Payton.
Walker, I know you just hopped on, so I want to get your storyline heading into week 2.
Yeah, I want to see if the Dolphins can stack performances. Last week was probably a pretty emotional win, like Tua broke some passing records and stuff. In an afternoon game that everybody was watching, a nationally televised game. Now you follow it up. They've got New England this week, and you're on prime time. You're on Sunday Night Football. Carrie Underwood's going to do the whole deal and sing, and men around the country will be really excited. I just want to kind of see how the Dolphins stack performances. If you're going to be a contender, you have to stack it week after week and not just show up 1 week and then disappear the next.
Yeah. Mo, to your point about starting 0-2 isn't everything. It kind of is. Only 9.5% of teams that start 0-2 will end up making the playoffs. So it is essentially make or break. Whether
the Giants win the
0-2
Super Bowl after starting off 0-2, just letting you know. So there's still hope.
It's an anomaly though, but I don't think like it's oh, the Denver Broncos season is over after 0-2, but you know, Sean Payton already has some hesitation about Russell Wilson being his quarterback. So I just could see being 0-2 with going 0-2 against two teams that you're supposed to beat or expected to beat at the very least. Like the expectation is we start the season 2-0 playing the Raiders and the Commanders. Because if you're the Broncos, you should feel like you're better because you got the better head coach. You got the better quarterback essentially out of Sam Howell and Jimmy G. So if you start 0-2, it doesn't get any easier playing in the AFC West. So I do think it could be the beginning to the end because it doesn't get easier here for Denver.
Who's their backup quarterback?
Jarrett Stidham. He doesn't get benched after week 2. I just think it starts okay, if you don't bounce back very quickly, we could bench you later on in the season and move on. And you start evaluating those things.
How long do you think it is before he gets replaced then? Like if the cracks are starting this week, like when do they finally pull the plug?
Probably by like the 8th or 9th game. Like if they're sitting 2-6, not looking good, the office looks stale. It's not even about seeing what Jarrett Stidham has to see if you're going to draft a quarterback. You're going to be looking at quarterback. All it is sending the message that we're done with Russell Wilson.
And keeping him healthy to try to trade.
I think we're pretty confident that we know.
Is Judy coming back this week?
Who? Yeah, Judy's playing this week.
Okay. So at least we could probably give a better because he hasn't had a lot of his weapon. And his tight end's out too, right?
I think so, yeah. But you could get a better evaluation with Judy and Sutton and Javonte Williams. I'm not saying but at the same time, like playing really good in the first half and then faltering in the second half. If you turn around, you play a good defense this week. That's another thing. Is like, what do you look like against a good defense? Because it may not be top 5, but you play a good defense, and one of their better players is coming back this week, so they're going to be getting after Russell Wilson. So I think it's a fair evaluation to say, like, hey, what do you look like against a good defense? This is the beginning because it only gets harder from here.
Yep, I agree.
So let's do a quick ad read for Betalytics, sports betting software of the Off the Ball Network. Use OTBN as your promo code for 25% off. They've got player prop research. They've got single bets, parlays, all that fun stuff. So be sure to go and check out Betalytics.com, code OTBN for 25% off.
There you go. And Walker, I'm gonna start with you. All the games on the slate this weekend. What's the one you're keeping your eye on?
Packers Falcons at noon will get TV1 almost certainly. Like, I mean, I've got a Falcons to win the NFC South future, but beyond that, I just kind of want to see. If you just box score watched last week, you would think Jordan Love played really well. I'm not entirely convinced. I think that I could have probably completed those screen passes and had a really good box score. So I kind of want to see what it looks like. It sounds like Aaron Jones and Christian Watson may both not play, which means it's going to kind of be all on him. So I expect the Falcons to win because it'll be all on him. So that's getting TV1. I'm interested to see if Atlanta opens it up a little bit. Like, I mean, both Pitts and London didn't have targets or catches or anything like that. It was pretty much all Algier and Bijan. So I want to see if they open it up and allow their playmakers to play.
Right now, Atlanta is -1.5 in that game. Aaron, what's your game
And
to
it's
watch?
not enough.
It's not enough.
Aaron, what's your game to watch?
Also, one of my games to watch is the Bengals versus Ravens. Seeing if the Bengals can make it, turn it back after that big loss against the Browns. And then seeing if the Ravens they have a lot of injuries coming into this week. They lost Stanley. They lost Landon Baum and some others. And then my next game is the Chiefs versus Jags. The Chiefs are getting back Chris Jones and Travis Kelce playing against the Jags team. I think is definitely going to be in the playoffs. But those are my 2 games to watch.
Well, what's your game to watch?
Yeah, just take all the games, guys. Shit. Honestly, my game to watch, call me crazy, bro, the Chargers and Titans. And for the simple fact, I think you're looking at, I don't want to say Ryan Tannehill bounced back, but like, bro, he's not a great quarterback, but he's not that bad. Like, he's not as bad as he played last week. I don't think that's going to be. I mean, bro, this is a guy who, at the end of the day, I know they ran the ball, Derrick Henry, all that, all the way to AFC Championship. I get it. But, like, even still in times, he was not that bad. Like, he's a bottom, anywhere 16 to 20 type of guy. But then at the same time, like, my thing is why I would want to watch it is because I don't think the Titans are playing with any pressure. Like, okay, you looked absolutely horrible. You lost by 1, but like who's it more an indictment to if they start 0-2? If the Titans started 0-2, people wouldn't be the most surprised playing the Saints and Chargers back-to-back. If the Chargers start 0-2, you start to have a different conversation, especially about the Chargers, especially about Justin Herbert, because, okay, losing to the Dolphins, a team that's very comparable to you, probably a little bit better than you, that's fine. You could take that, and, hey, it was a close game. Everybody loved it. Turning around, starting 0-2 when you should probably really beat the hell out of the Titans, and the line doesn't say that, but you really should bounce back strong. So I think the Chargers-Titans is interesting because I feel like the Titans are playing with no pressure, essentially, and that's always dangerous when you come in here and you're going to Tennessee and you're feeling all the pressure. And it's a West Coast team because the game's in Tennessee. So it's a West Coast team going East Coast, which I always think makes it tough. When you play at 1 o'clock and you're a West Coast team, I do think that's an advantage to the Titans. And I think that game has the potential to be a lot more interesting than people think.
As bad as Tannehill was last week, he was still better than Daniel Jones.
I mean, all of us here combined scored as many points as Daniel Jones did last
That's
week,
just
so.
an unsolicited shot at Chris.
It was completely
No.
unwarranted.
No reason.
Completely unwarranted. It is.
Speaking
what
of
it
Chris, what game is catching your eye this weekend?
That was messed up. Tannehill played like garbage. He almost played as worse as Daniel Jones.
Almost, but not quite.
Almost.
But not quite.
Almost. Yeah. Honestly, there's a couple of solid matchups, but for me, I'll keep it, with my team. I want to see how they bounce back against the Cardinals. Obviously we saw what happened last week. I only saw the first half because I decided to boycott the second half of that game. So just seeing how they bounce back against a team that's clearly not trying to go for it this year, but they gotta. There's no way you could play worse than how they did against the Dallas. So look, I'm very intrigued how they bounce back. How the offensive line, they got whooped last week. How they bounce back and all that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Because the Cardinals are gonna come in. They got nothing to lose. So that can easily be a game that. And if we go down 0-2 this year, the season can go because then we have to bounce back and go play the 49ers Thursday night in San Fran. So it could get ugly if they lose. So, I expect them to bounce back in some capacity, because like I said, can't get worse than 40-0 on national TV. So I'm intrigued to see how they do and how they bounce back because that was a bad performance last week, to say the least. So that's what I'm looking forward to this week.
Daniel Jones did have a better completion percentage than Ryan Tannehill.
He was running for his damn life. Like
that's where it ends.
That offensive line, I've seen some bad offensive line performances from the Giants since we won the Super Bowl. Again, if it was Super Bowl 46, they've had a lot of bad offensive lines, but that might have been the top of the top bad. That was just Evan Neal does not look like a starting. He looks like Eric Flowers. And that was a disaster, the Eric Flowers. So, hopefully he bounces back. We don't got Andrew Thomas this week, I don't think. So,
Cardinals are going to be living in the backfield.
We'll see. I mean, they don't got much. They don't got a lot of talent, but, that could be a trap game. So, we'll see what happens.
That'll be the only game I don't watch this weekend.
Next, who's next?
What's your game to watch?
Oh, that was savage. I want to watch Miami, New England. Obviously, it's a Sunday nighter because I can't wait for Mo to have to walk back his Miami take when they drop this game, a road divisional game to New England, who everyone says is terrible. But I just can't wait. I'm really looking forward to Overreaction Monday. Looking forward to next CU Sunday with his rankings. So Patriots money line.
So you think if Dolphins don't look great Sunday night, they drop all the way to 32?
Well, no, I'm not Aaron, so I'm not gonna go 32. But no, I do think that's actually a good game to watch though, because Mac Jones actually looked pretty good against New England or against Philly, in New England. So I think that he could play pretty well, especially given how bad Miami's defense looked. And we'll see if their defense actually steps up after giving up 34 points, the number one team for Mo last week.
Best team in football.
Bar none. Not even close.
Nope.
Anyways, so getting into our rivalry of the week, there are only a couple games. I wanted to highlight this one this week. Rams versus 49ers, mainly because we all think we know what the 49ers are. They looked great last week against the Steelers. Rams went in and shocked a lot of people up in Seattle, up in Lumen Field. So, real quick, super quick, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this game and who you guys think are going to win. Ken, we'll start with you.
I think that the Rams have a shot at making the playoffs, especially given that they have Stafford as their QB. But I really think that they're going to be overmatched in this game. I think that they can beat a lot of the teams that they should, or maybe upset a couple along the way. I just don't think that this is that spot. So as good as Stafford looked against Seattle, I think we maybe just overvalued Seattle as a whole because of what they did last year. And they came back down to earth in a big way. So I think San Fran takes care of business. I think they should cover that spread as well. I think it's a full touchdown. So that's where I'm at with it.
Chris.
I'm going to continue my 49ers slander because, I have to stick with that. And I think the Rams, I'm going to go with the Rams. Go with the upset this week. So Brock Purdy, he's going to have a bad game. I feel it. It's in my gut. He's going to throw a couple interceptions. He's going to look bad. Donald's going to get in his face. I'm going with the Rams with the upset.
So you think this would be Brock Purdy's first loss in his NFL career?
Yeah, he's going to lose.
That's a lose.
Sam Darnold's going to look at him real close and be like, I'm coming. No homo.
All the homo.
He's going to be like, lose my number.
We're going to get canceled.
Walker, what's your thoughts on this game?
I figure it'll be close. It's a divisional game, but San Francisco will win. It's the second biggest rivalry game of the week, so it'll be close. Yep, right behind the Giants versus competence. But we'll.
You guys are 0-2. We have the same record. You know that, right?
They didn't lose 40-0 though.
That's all right.
Yeah, and also
There
was
15 points and Tannehill threw 3
The Patriots lost 33-0 when they their Super Bowl year to the Bills opening night. So it's motivation. Sometimes you need that in life. You need to get kicked down.
yeah.
So, you're all right. A lot of football left in the season. A lot of football.
Yeah, you keep saying that. I don't think what it means. What you think it means.
A lot of football. The Hurricanes are 3-0.
Anyways.
Good for you.
No
Aaron,
love on field scorers. No love.
What's your thoughts on this game?
I'm gonna go with the 49ers on this game. It's gonna be a close game, but I think the 49ers defense is gonna handle business against the Rams.
Oh, we lost. No, we won.
Okay, Mo, give us your Stephen
Oh.
A. Ram.
I was waiting on Rob to, just say
My bad. It was muted. My bad.
I think San Francisco kind of rolls the Rams. Not like by 30 or nothing, but I think they take care of business and win this fairly convincingly. I could see, a 28-13, and it never looked close. Rams maybe make a touchdown in the second half, but I expect San Francisco to be fairly dominant, even if it's just for the fact how good they are defensively. I think that's going to turn into some good, possessions where they create a turnover or something, so they don't have to march down the field every time they touch the ball to score, even though they showed they have the offense to do it. I don't think Brandon Ayuk has that game that he had last week, but if he does, cool. I don't think he does that. But yeah, I think the 49ers win fairly comfortably. I mean, they're the best team in the NFC right now. In my opinion, they're the best team in the NFC, and I don't see a reason why the Rams would make them have anybody contemplate otherwise about them being the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think it's going to be closer than a touchdown. I think the only thing that scares me is that since both have been head coaches and gone against each other in this division, Mike Shanahan owns Sean McVay. I think Sean McVay's only won like twice against him. So that's the only thing that concerns me. I think it'll be within the touchdown. I think it'll be like a 5-point Niners win. I think it will be close. It'll be a lot closer than people think.
Right here, on the back.
Not sure what that was, but getting back. So Just want to make sure everybody knows the difference between a lock and an upset, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we're good this week. We're
Yeah,
good.
someone picked the Falcons as an upset, and I didn't say anything, but I was like, they're favored by 2, right?
All right. So Mo, we will start with you. Give me your lock of the week.
Come on, man. None other than the Dallas Cowboys, dog. Come on. We're not losing to Zach Wilson and the Jets.
Oh,
No, we're not. We're not losing, but I'm gonna tell you, it's not gonna be a high scoring game though. Like it's not gonna be a high scoring game because the Jets defense damn good too. So I don't see like where I would be like, oh, Dak Prescott going for 350 and 3 touchdowns, but we're not losing this game. Like our defense is gonna get after Zach Wilson. That offensive line is not good. You saw that with Aaron Rodgers going down in 4 plays. The O-line is not good. They're not going to be able to hold up against Dallas's pass rush. Garrett Wilson will have a long day. Hate to say it, former Buckeye, but look, buddy, you either got to be guarded by Stephon Gilmore or Trayvon Diggs. Maybe you get a big play on Diggs if Zach Wilson could get it to you. But other than that, I don't see the Jets offense being able to do enough to even really look like they have a chance. But I still could see like, okay, Dallas offense don't look potent, but with as good as their defense is going to play, they're going to win this game. So I think they even cover the spread, but like that's about all they do. I think they win by like 10.
Aaron, who's your lock?
My lock is the Giants over the Cardinals. I got the Giants because they're gonna let all their anger and frustration after getting mollywopped by the Cowboys last week. So if y'all lose, I'm gonna put y'all at 32. To be honest with you,
yeah.
Rightfully so.
I think the Titans might be closer to 32 than us.
No, if the Giants lose to the Cardinals, they're a lock at 32. Anonymous.
If Giants lose to the Cardinals, I'm putting them at 34.
I'm putting Georgia
A
there.
lot of football left. A lot of football left.
Lots of the CFL ahead of them.
A lot of football left.
so that's my
Walker,
lock.
who's your lock?
Buffalo. They're going to win. That's it.
I can say to the point. Chris, who's your lock?
My lock is who was my lock? Question.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Daniel
My lock
Jones
is the
over
Bills.
half
Yeah,
an interception.
I had the Bills. That was my lock. I think they're gonna dominate. They're gonna dominate because they let Zach Wilson beat them. So that's kind of depressing. And Josh Allen was garbage last week, but he'll bounce back. So that's my lock. Bills.
Kenneth, who's your lock of the week?
Can I pick an underdog as my lock?
Okay, Mo.
No, I'm picking New England. That's my lock of the week.
Ooh, balls.
Kick them out. Kick them out.
I don't
That's
care.
under criteria. It's a lock, right? It's not
No,
an
I
upset.
mean, he's guaranteeing their win.
Yeah.
But I did that last week.
No, you did it. No,
No. You did the opposite.
You did the opposite.
So how is that anyway? How is that not?
And it wasn't. It was
A
you picked
lock
the
is who do
favorite.
I think is absolutely going to win on Sunday.
Yeah, a lock is
you
Absolutely,
did.
New England is going to win on Sunday.
Oh,
You didn't
so
do
you're
that.
gonna turn around and make that your upset pick as well.
No, I'll pick something else.
Okay. Lock of the week. Patriots money line, sure. Ken
Yeah.
gets to stay in here. Here we go.
Mo was so mad.
All right.
Here we go.
My lock is Dallas. I think Zach Wilson's gonna have a long night. What that defense did against Eli Manning 2.0 on Sunday night, I think they're gonna do the same thing. Not deservingly, but sure. Dallas is, I think, yeah, it's just gonna be a long night for Zach Wilson. He might get traded after this week. We'll see.
I heard
So,
the
Mo.
Commanders are celebrating Patrick Ramsey halftime. They're doing a half ceremony. He was
Anyways, so Mo, who is your upset?
I'm taking the Commanders over the Broncos.
that an upset?
That is.
Yep.
That is an upset. Broncos are
He studied what an upset is. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
faith in him this week.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Commanders beating the Broncos. Everything in me tells me like, bro, the Commanders defense is good enough to win this game. Period, point blank. No matter what we think about Sam Howell, I think their defense is good enough to win this game. And there is just this gut feeling. As much as like, I don't like Russell Wilson. I was once a Russell Wilson fan, so he showed us how corny he is. But I think it's inevitable that Russell Wilson is not a Broncos quarterback for long. Maybe he does get to finish out the season, But I do start to think we hit a rumblings because I think the Commanders win. I think Chase Young coming back is big. Because now they add another pass rusher to that pretty good defensive line. So, yeah, I think the Commanders beat the Broncos on the road in Denver because all things are good in Colorado right now until they wake up Sunday and take that L.
When they make the playoffs, I will be here.
Who, the Broncos?
Yes.
Okay, well, all things good have been great in Colorado. Friday night SmackDown, Colorado's going to roll Colorado State, and they get to celebrate, and then they have to wake up and watch, the Commanders roll through Russell Wilson, and they got to go to work Monday depressed.
Mo was hyped when The Rock came out and smacked that. He was like a little Hardy boy again. Mo Hardy.
Well, I didn't watch it. I just saw the clip. The clip was
And
pretty
who's your upset?
I mean, first off, it's kind of funny for the guy that posts videos of himself taking shots every weekend called Russell Wilson corny. But Chicago Bears over the Tampa Bay Bucks. That is my upset.
Yeah, I'd be lit though. I'd be lit.
Some people call it an alcoholic, but hey,
yeah, but Russ is corny, right, boys? Oh, I drink alcohol.
Only on the weekends.
Only on the weekends.
Yeah, only on the weekends.
Aaron, got you up next. Who's your upset?
my upset for the week is I got the Steelers over the Browns.
Whoa.
Despite how the Browns look, not just how the Browns look, but how each of those teams look.
Yeah.
Browns mollywop, the highest paid quarterback in the league, who always has problems with them. And Steelers look just as inept as the Giants did.
They really do.
My only thing is the Browns defense, like that D line getting after Kenny Pickett is. I can see the Steelers winning the game, but I don't defensively because Browns offensively didn't look that great, but defensively, bro, is where I'm like, yeah, I think they win this game. But
it's gonna be a close game though.
Walker, who's your upset?
Who did I take? Hold on, I can't remember. I sent it in there just about 20 minutes ago, and now I can't remember. Oh yeah, the Panthers over the Saints on Monday night.
I like it.
At home. Yeah, they're gonna win.
I was looking at that one too.
Not even close.
Oh wow,
They're gonna win 31-6.
Oh my god.
oh my god, bro, what
What kind of crap is that?
do you hate Derek Carr or something? Is there a beef with Derek Carr?
No, they're just no good. No good. They are no good.
Yet they beat the Titans, right?
Yes, who are also no good. They're also no good.
That's true. Walker has been saying the Titans are going to be low key trash this year.
And Chris really thought that was going to hurt Walker's feelings. Like he
Yeah,
didn't
really.
know that.
A lot of football.
Got him. Your team sucks, even though you know they suck.
Chris, you got to put that on a shirt. A lot of football left.
A lot of football left.
We're going to be in week 18. Giants are going to be 3-14, down 27-3, and he's just going to be in the chat. A lot of football left, guys. A lot of football
Can I
left.
just say a lot of football left and then Chris's bald head on it as well? I'd buy that shirt.
Very
Chris,
Nebraska of you,
who's
Chris.
your
Very
upset?
Nebraska.
Rams. My goal is to pick against the 49ers every week until they lose. So
Did you get it right?
You're right.
Until you get kicked out of your house for not paying rent.
Oh man. All right, my upset. I'm right there with Mo. I'm taking Washington over the Broncos.
Here you go.
I think getting there's not a lot of upsets really to pick from. I mean, most of the lines, they're really close lines.
Yeah, they are.
But -3.5 or +3.5, Washington is. Getting Chase Young back, you saw what that defensive line was able to do to, albeit Joshua Dobbs last week. Getting Chase back is going to open up the doors more for Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. I think Chase Young will get a sack as well in that game. So I'm taking Washington to go to Denver and start the Russ Wilson rumblings and the
End of an
go
era.
to the bench. With that being said, I'm gonna go around the horn real quick. Everybody, let us know where they can find you and what projects you have coming up in the future. Kenneth, will start.
We're
with
not
you.
overreacting to anything. Oh, it's Monday. Never mind.
Yeah. Bro, go back to bed. Try again. Like go back to bed.
It's literally called overreaction.
Bro, go back to bed and try again. Like, literally, we're making
This is
it.
the same dude that wanted to do Overreaction Monday before the season even started.
Yeah, he woke up that Monday before the Thursday night kickoff. It was like, hey, what time is overreaction Monday? Oh, wait, never mind.
Stop, bro.
And that's called commitment. All right. Y'all should get some of that. Anyway.
You should just wake up and drink a coffee or go to bed and try.
Lord knows my wife didn't have any of it.
Oh, God. Anyways,
Mo, where can they find your work?
come on. Lee Corso's about to pick his 400th pick. Come on, man. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, you can find me at Mo_Cheese15 on Twitter. Check out Field Stormers. We're gonna recap week 3. I'm assuming tomorrow or Monday at the latest, depending on what me and Walker got going on. But I'm assuming tomorrow since we've been rolling on Sundays. And then we're gonna preview week 4 as well later on in the week, which is a huge week next week. So you definitely want to tune into that. Going to be way more exciting than recent. Check out Up in Flames releasing Sunday as well. I'm doing Up in Flames on Sunday as well. And yeah, appreciate you for having me, Cruz. It's always great to be on See You Sunday.
Absolutely. Kenneth, where can they find you at?
Mo_Cheese. Talk about a corny ass name. You can follow me at HedgePod on Twitter. Put out an episode last night. EPL picks were dog shit this morning. Full disclosure. Pretty sure I went 0-3. So great bets there. Got some college football on there and some NFL as well. Shout out to Betalytics as well. They do great work over there. Once again, OTBN is the promo code for 25% off. And thanks as always for hosting Cruz.
Absolutely. Aaron, where can they find you at?
Yes, sir. So you can follow me at AaronB901, and then also follow Tacos and Touchdown on Twitter and Instagram. And with me and my guy Shane will do a show on Thursday, 5:30 or 7. It depends on the work schedule and stuff like that. But we're going to be doing a preview against versus the Cardinals next week. So stay tuned for that. And appreciate you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Walker?
At Walker Bailey 818 on Twitter. We're gonna do Field Stormers, I think, Sunday, Monday back to back, or at least that's what I'm gonna try to get Mo to do.
Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna do Sunday, Monday back to back. We'll see kind of when that Monday episode drops. And then just read everything at offtheballnetwork.com.
Perez.
You can follow me Off the Ball Pod. Make sure to follow the network, OTB_network on Twitter. Offtheballnetwork.com. Check out the great sponsors we got and all that, and all the other great work coming up.
You already know where you can find me, FNC Pod on Twitter, Football and Trip Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Cruise Island is coming back. It's coming up Wednesday for sure this time. It was supposed to come back last Wednesday. Had some family stuff going on. Pushing it to this week. Yes, shout out to Betalytics. Also, if you're in the market for tickets, make sure you head over to SeatGeek.com. Use promo code Off the Ball. Right, press Off the Ball or Off the Ball Network.
Off the Ball Network, all
Off
caps.
the Ball Network. All
$20
caps.
off.
You get $20 off your first purchase. Once again, for everybody on here, y'all know where to find us. Go follow everybody on Twitter. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you on Sunday.